قد جاب خواطرنا حلم يطويه تخرجنا أيام الجد قضيناها وهنا الإنجاز يسامرنا فرح قد جاب خواطرنا حلم يطويه تخرجنا أيام الجد قضيناها وهنا الإنجاز يسامرنا وعبير الأفراح ترات ومنانا اليوم يعانقنا طياب مدارسنا بذلت للعلم جهودا.
Welcome again, and we have a very exciting interview. We'd like to welcome our Deputy Minister of Economic Development of South Africa, our Mr. Madala, to our ITV at the stand here at the Sandton City Convention, the GBR Global Convention, and we thank him first of all from his busy schedule to take time. Welcome, Deputy Minister.
I appreciate it very much. May I greet the viewers and the listeners?
Thank you very much, sir. You know, this conference, Deputy Minister, is arranged by a Christian group. And you can see how successful it is and how it's bringing people, yet it's an economic conference, a business conference. We want to ask you as the Deputy Minister, how can religious groups, how important are religious groups in helping in economic development?
Well, if you look at the history of development, you realize that business actually started thriving when the church started anchoring it. And what it tells us is that the churches, I mean the religion has got a role in that area. And it's also good because when you look at GBR, which is a professional, a very professional, God-based business organization, anchored on integrity, it actually adds a value in terms of that kind of business that you actually get out of that collective.
Well, also because it's religious, so there will be ethics, and it will boost, as you said, the integrity and the ethics in business things. I mean, in our country, South Africa, which is truly a rainbow nation, and you know, our country gives all the religions the right. We have, for instance, the Minara Chamber of Commerce, which is also another business group. They are also here at the convention. ITV is the Islamic TV channel, which is working together with our Christian groups, you know, and we want to know, you know, that really speaking, even globally now, we want to know in the world, not just in our country, there are very strong Muslim countries with certain economies, Middle East, Malaysia, Indonesia, which I see there are here also many of them. I would like to know, as the Deputy Minister, how is our government, how is the interaction going with these countries in economic development?
Let me first say, start by appreciating the coming together of minds across religious bodies. It's a very critical, it's a very important factor because it actually grounds our society. Most of our, I mean, the largest percentage of our society is actually religious. Yes. And once you hold that, yes, and you preach ethics of doing business, integrity in doing business, it actually augurs well with the new dawn that the president has actually indicated, that is anchored on integrity and fighting corruption.
Well, the last question, Deputy Minister, how, because our ITV, although it's on the DSTV, it's open to all, but we have a large Muslim viewership in our country. We have an Islamic Sharia banking even in our country. Our government is allowed that. It's very big, it's growing. What last message from you? What encouragement or what advice can you give our listeners who are big business people and business sectors out there of how they can partner with the government, how you know they can help more in getting our economic development going?
What I can say is that to them is that South Africa is in for very good things. The new dawn that has arisen is coming with lots of opportunities. I was telling conference that President Cyril Ramaphosa has just announced that we need to have a conference where we bring all meeting of minds, and we target at having planning, crafting an investment plan that is equal to should give us 1.2 trillion in the next coming years. So within there, these investments are within your mining and beneficiation, they're within your agriculture and agro-processing, they're into manufacturing, they're into small business development, they're into oceans, they're into Africa integration, regional integration kind of project, they're into infrastructure. So all those are opportunities that do not have color, do not have a religious creed. They are ours to take. So if all the Muslim community, those who have got businesses, put your hand, bring your hand in, bring your hand in the work that we are actually doing. Know also that we have adopted a zero tolerance to corruption. Should anywhere when you do your business you meet or come across this monster, please shout so that we deal with it, so that it doesn't retard us from our own initiative and creativity to develop our own economy in our country.
Well, Deputy Minister, that was a very good parting advice. And I can assure you from the Muslim community in this country, which is very large, it's small in percentage, but they have a big amount in terms of the monetary contribution. And they are fully very happy with our new government's approach and trying to bring the economic. You have the full support, I think, of our community. And we wish you well in your terms of office and wish you all the success for the growth and development of our country.
Thank you very much.
When I knew about this event and I knew what organization is behind, immediately I think with these people we can trust, because if the world understands that the principles and the values are the most important for to live and to going on and to move and to obtain the other possibilities, and is the most important. The most important that this event is, I tell you, is the spirit. I felt here that all the people worked with the trust, with clarity, and the world needs no more corruption. We need transparency. We need integrity. We need to work in values, to teach the values, the principles, and to have a God. Doesn't matter if you are Muslim, I am Catholic, or the other people are Christian. Doesn't matter. The most important is to have the vision and the conscience that we can help the other people, because this is our responsibility. Like politician, like ambassador, like diplomatic, and like educators.
We have over 20 years worth of manufacturing experience. There came a time in 2016 where the plant we were working for was closing down, and we had to make a choice whether we will relocate and look for jobs again, or we would just use our expertise to start our own thing. And so we decided to take our pension, which was the highest risk we could have ever taken. We took our pension, we did the product that you are holding in your hands.
So speak to me about the community element. How do you involve the community in the manufacturing of the product, creating jobs, and so forth? Perhaps.
Hi. In the distribution, our distribution channel, what we've done is we've looked at our brothers and sisters that are not working. They don't have metric, but they've got all the networks around them in the township. So we've given them an opportunity to go there and distribute for us in the township and make money for themselves.
Right.
Thank you to the Randburg Chambers for giving us the opportunity, and this conference for giving us opportunity to exhibit our solar system lighting. Going to entrepreneurship, I think it is all about solving problems for other people. So it all came about to solve problems for other people, so that we'll make and create a better country in South Africa, as we experience serious load shedding and many other stuff in South Africa. So this is the future.
My name is Banele Ngobe. I'm from Swaziland. I'm the managing director of Megatrends Innovations. It's a company that is in the IT sector and technology. Basically, we provide proximity services. Our first project is proximity Bluetooth marketing. So it's a new platform where we use it to advertise other companies' product. We use a smartphone to send advertising notification. Another part that has really triggered my mindset and my way of thinking was the inter-African trade, the integration between our African nation, to see how best can we integrate, can we trade with each other as African nation. And I was very impressed about the development that Rwanda is going in terms of allowing the ease of doing business. Actually, I was shocked that you can actually register a company in 6 hours, and the fact that they don't even allow you to have to apply for a visa prior to arrival. We can actually apply your visa on site in the airport, so it was really amazing. And it's one of the things that I think as other African countries, especially my country, Swaziland, to improve trade and also to attract foreign direct investment, we need to look at those things, because really to make sure that a company, to take maybe a week for you to register a company, it's a barrier to trade. So coming here, I'm very inspired and I'm very happy.
فرح قد جاب خواطرنا حلم يطويه تخرجنا أيام الجد قضيناها وهنا الإنجاز يسامرنا فرح قد جاب خواطرنا حلم يطويه تخرجنا أيام الجد قضيناها وهنا الإنجاز يسامرنا
I'm an entrepreneur. I own 3 businesses, not just one. Even though I work as the Secretary General for the Conference of Black Mayors, my husband and I have also owned our business for the last 7 years. In addition to that, I've always been involved in politics. So when you're looking at whether you're a Muslim or you're a Christian, at the end of the day, that does not matter. What matters is your product. Do you have a good product? Do you yourself sell your business well? And also, do you represent and are you walking in integrity in your business? So whether you're a Muslim, whether you're a Christian, at the end of the day, what is your product? What are you selling? And can you really do what you say you can do? Are you producing? And so that has been the key for us to be successful in business. It's just producing and being able to do what we say we can do.
So you think that it is progressive for Christian businesses and Muslim businesses to constantly create community engagements together with one voice and with the objective of peace?
I don't know any other way. I grew up in Las Vegas, Nevada. And growing up in Las Vegas, Nevada, I can tell you one of my mentors growing up was Minister Duke Muhammad from Mosque number 76. And let me tell you, though I'm a Christian, I've always walked side by side, hand in hand with my Muslim brothers and sisters. So maybe Las Vegas was unique, maybe Atlanta is unique. Maybe the fact that, I've worked with and have been mentored by some of the greatest, I believe, leaders and thinkers who happen to be of Muslim faith. However, their contribution to us as a people, does it matter?
Does it matter?
No, ma'am.
I think certainly we agree with that as well as leaders in communities to say certainly growth must have you think outside of that box if we are going to move communities. The question that I also would like to touch with you is Black Lives Matters, and in that movement, speak to us about Black women, speak to us about the United States, and also touch for us the GBR 2018 and its objective to say we want to reach 200 countries. Speak to us about that and future.
Okay, well, our organization, the Conference of Black Mayors, we represent the 39,000 plus Afro descendants that are throughout the globe. So when you're saying you want to reach 200 countries, we know they can do it. We've done it. So for us to start in Atlanta, Georgia, and be able to grow our organization to represent 39,000 cities versus one, it's a great blessing. Now, when you're talking about Black Lives Matter, I have a son. He's 15 years old. I understand that not only do Black lives matter, but little girls' lives matter that are Black. And what we're watching take place in the United States is really something that has always been in an underbelly in our country. It's just now that with technology, the world is able to see it. So it is important that we are educated. It is important that we use our voices. And it's important that we use our power by collectively coming together as a community and finding ways to resolve and becoming self-resilient to actually own, produce, and also manufacture goods in our community where we can empower our community in such a way where we can then have a voice and not only have to be empowered by others. We should not have to ask other people to fund our causes. We are the only answers really for and solution for the problems that we're having today.
Okay. And lastly, as you have obviously quite a lot of mayors within this organization, what is the direct impact that they are making and some of the programs that you have as an organization that interconnect and touch further lives outside of the United States borders, rather?
Absolutely. Well, majority of what we've done is leverage the wealth of the United States. Being African descendants, being a part of the African diaspora, we've been able to use the office of a mayor as the conduit to bring teachers, doctors, educators, celebrities to look at causes, be it here on the continent of Africa or be it in the Republic of Colombia or be it in Haiti. We've been able to travel to different nations and find ways where we can learn because we have resources in the sense of the knowledge and information. But Africa is rich. Everyone is here except for us. So we're about to dispel all the myths, and we're about to open up the eyes of the African American community and allow African Americans to understand the importance of us coming back as the descendants of Africa and helping to rebuild and reclaim Africa so we can be a united states of Africa that we believe we can be. We believe it full-heartedly, and we want to be a part of that solution.
To help us address a few cardinal issues in the economy is, of course, the Deputy Minister for Economic Development, Madala Masuku. What is South Africa doing at the moment within the social economic development of our communities and lives? Tell us about that. You spoke of many great products that are being implemented by your department currently. Tell us about the social impact that it will have, and just a quick breakdown on those wonderful projects and programs that you have out there for the entrepreneurs and businesses in South Africa and also in other African countries in terms of them being a bilateral trade agreement between interstate agreements.
Well, there's a tendency to break the economy into two. And our view is that the economy is one, is integrated. It needs to be integrated. The only success you can have in our economy, in each and every economy, is when you have successfully integrated the small player and the large player. And if you haven't yet gone that chain, you won't get it right. Although in itself, in its own operation, to just integrate itself. If I was to give you an example, a mine start is a massive project. Around it, you will just see a mushroom of small businesses, informal business coming in to provide different number of services in them. So it is important that now when we begin to plan our things and we talk about mining and beneficiation, when you look at the whole chain, you must look at it across until it touches the small player, the informal sector of our economy. And if we do so, it will make it so important to put your frameworks that are going to allow not an adversarial kind of a relationship between the bigger and the smaller, but a complementary, operation. May just stick to mining and just not get into any other. Just stick to mining and say what is it that you get in mining. In mining, you will have all import all this big machinery that you're going to have in your mining, but at the same time, in that big machine, there's a bolt. One of the young people in the Free State has decided to see business in that, and he spoke to the mining and said, all the boards, don't order them somewhere else. He took them and he worked with them and he worked with the different mines, took them and just look at the board and he agreed with the person that has developed the board and have the patent issues set up. And he started manufacturing boards for all the mines around the Free State. So can you see it's a small business, but in a complex, And then at the same time, you then have in that mine people who have been providing, toilet papers. There were others providing food for people who are catering food around the area. Some of them come in with the traditional cuisines that are not sold anywhere around that area. So it's actually very integral. So when we talk about a focus in mining and mining and beneficiation, agriculture and agro-processing, it's across the value chain. And then we talk about manufacturing, we're talking across until you even talk about to a level where you talk about textile, like, sewing, people that can provide the mine with the overalls. It's actually people that are coming from your own, and people that can provide yarn for you to have the material. It's part of those chains that whole chain that we are talking about. We are talking about the fact that ocean economy, and if we look at the ocean economy, that people are into tourism or all these who are providing different transport complex, ship and others with small boats. And if you go to Mozambique, you realize that you've got small boats for fishing and small boats for, they ferry you from one corner to the other. So and you would miss out on that if you want to see these economies as like separated. But one thing that we're talking about, what is happening within the different content, and what are the frameworks that are being looked at to allow for this trade to happen. You would have realized that now in the Kigali protocol that we have signed a free trade areas act. That is meant to facilitate commercial change, yes, amongst big, and others will look at big, but also among the small, so that they don't get victimized by the fact that you happen to be in South Africa, you happen to be in Mozambique. Yeah. So when we have put in that, you have to now, the next step is to put in protocols that are understood by all of us, that show that when you see somebody trading on something, it's not an enemy to you. You see, those are the kind of things that we have to go deeper into that.
فرح قد جاب خواطرنا حلم يطويه تخرجنا أيام الجد قضيناها وهنا الإنجاز يسامرنا فرح